When your life feels like this, it can be pretty tricky to find time to draw and improve, but there's hope for you. I'm always busy, and chances are you're busy too. So how the heck do we practice art effectively to the point where we can still see progress and stay motivated? If you're younger, it should be relatively easy to, find time to draw because you likely have nothing going on in your life. Like, in a good way, I guess, like no responsibility. But as we all know, this doesn't last nearly long enough. As adults, all the responsibilities just keep piling up and end up eating up all our free time. Like, I had to adapt to this reality immediately as soon as I left the game industry working as a character artist, going from doing art all day long to now running a business with employees, an art school, more on that later, having a family with 2 young kids and running a YouTube channel where I do everything by myself. I just have very little time left to practice art. But the blueprint I'll share with you, the same I've been using, has been a game changer in the last couple of years. So if it's worked for me with my crazy schedule, there's very good chances it'll work for you too. Also, where's my 4th pen? Alright, so here's the full blueprint. It starts with a plan. If your time is limited, don't waste it figuring out what to practice. Structure is everything. You should have a clear list of things to practice in order from simple to complex, building on previous skills. The idea is to have a goal, break it into smaller achievable goals, and then keep making progress towards those. When you're short on time, it's too easy to lose track without structure. And here's just a gym analogy, like you've probably seen 2 types of people. Those with a workout plan who go from exercise to exercise without wasting time, and those wandering around uncertain what to do next, like taking selfies next to weights or just doing whatever because they're kind of lost. You can get a killer workout in under 30 minutes if you have a plan. Same for art. So don't be the wanderer wasting precious time. And of course, I hear the keyboards clicking away already, commenting that it's not that easy, like where to find that structure. Well, this is kind of my specialty, and I have a couple of videos on the channel going over different practice schedules, but one in particular I'd recommend if you're serious is my Learn to Draw in 1 year video. I'll have a link to that down below. You can totally learn on your own, but if you need more help, you'll want to hear from the sponsor of this video, Artschool for Digital Artists, but more on that later. The second strategy is to master the God tier exercises. What? So practice simple drawing exercises that help you think like an artist. These are perfect when you have only like 5 to 10 minutes. These exercises help you practice form or the building blocks of art. The idea is getting good at drawing basic shapes and volumes like cubes, cylinders, spheres, and then slowly increasing the complexity of what you can do with them. Like drawing a cube, then bending it and twisting it in different ways. There's a lot of difficulty levels to this, like from simple to harder, and it's stuff that will help you with drawing like anything. It's kind of like cardio in a full body workout. It might sound boring for an hour session, but for a few minutes, it's the perfect exercise that builds a foundation for everything else. Now, the strategy number 3 is to remove all friction. Make it stupidly easy to start practicing, like keep your tools ready and accessible, drawing apps open on your device, or a sketchbook and pencil in every bag that you use, maybe a small one in your back pocket as well. The moment you have to hunt for supplies, you've basically lost. Friction kills consistency. And keep that sketchbook cheap too. You won't hesitate to use it or take it to places. Don't get a fancy one that you'll feel bad drawing anything less than a masterpiece in. The cheaper, the better. Strategy number 4 is to become a specialist. So focus on very specific things that you want to get good at and practice only those. You know the saying, jack of all trades, master of none, or at least what people mean when they say that? Do not do that when your time is limited. Pick something you love, maybe character line art only, like ignoring colors, no shading, no backgrounds, and focus exclusively on that. There's so much to learn in art, but you don't need to learn everything to get good. If you had more time, of course. Instead, I would recommend building a solid foundation, going over the fundamentals of art and not skipping anything. But when time is limited, we have to adapt. So if you think of drawing skills in terms of an RPG game where you have skill points to allocate to different skills, and the skill point in this case being your time, and you have very few of them, well, you'd want to max out a single skill basically and ignore the rest, rather than putting 1 point in everything and basically sucking at everything. And there's also a psychological aspect to this strategy where it's almost impossible to find motivation to continue doing something, in this case practicing art, if you're never rewarded for it, like mentally rewarding. The reward in this case being the good feeling you get when you feel like you're improving at something. It's one of the major drives behind motivation. Obviously, that won't happen if you just scratch the surface of a bunch of different art skills, but it will happen if you notice that one skill improving because that's your sole focus. It's a classic mind trick to improve motivation. Now, the strategy number 5 is never go past 30 minutes of study. Obviously, that's great for busy people. You shouldn't study more than 30 minutes without a break anyway. Your concentration tanks after 20 to 30 minutes of focused work. I would argue even less now that everyone is addicted to doom scrolling, short form videos. And the kind of focused work I'm talking about here would be stuff like studying anatomy or color theory, like anything where you're cramming new knowledge into your brain. Drawing for fun usually doesn't count as focused work. It's creative work, right? It's like rehearsal of what you already know, so you can do as much of that as you want. But of course, you don't really learn anything new while you rehearse. But yeah, another recommendation that I would add to this one too would be to use a study method while you work. Something to help you make the best use of that precious bit of time that you have. Like, I would try a short version of the Pomodoro method, one of the most well-known spacing methods. So basically what you would want to do is to pick a task, like learning torso anatomy, for example. Then you set a 15-minute timer, work until the time is up, then you take a 5-minute break, and then you repeat that 4 times maximum before taking a much longer 30-minute break, if you want to start the cycle all over again. But probably you won't have time for that. I'm mentioning it just in case. If your time is limited, remember that focus is too. So having time only helps if you know how to use it. And this will actually make you more productive than grinding for hours straight without a good study method. So it's something you should be doing anyways, but if you have less time, it's something you definitely want to be doing. But I get it. It can be pretty challenging to know what to focus on, in what order. Like the free study schedule I mentioned earlier as part of my YouTube video is a great start if you're resourceful and can find all the learning content on your own. It's doable for sure. But if you want a pay to win option, where I basically spoon feed you everything you need to know and practice to learn to draw anything your mind can imagine, well, I highly recommend you check out my art program with the link in the video description. There's currently a huge back to school sale discount, so check down below to know exactly when the sale ends so you won't miss out. You'll be joining over 29,000 other students with lifetime access to all the content, free updates and additions for life, assignments, a week-by-week study guide so you're never left wondering what to do next, and exclusive access to our school's Discord server. It's not only the most popular art program in the world, it's the best value too. Win-win. And if you're already a student, thank you. I love you. Now, strategy number 6 is to copy simple styles first. All artists learn by copying, but choose your targets wisely. If you don't have much time, there's a limit to how many lines you can physically draw. So I would recommend copying artists with simple, more cartoony styles first. If your time is limited, you'll have a hard time finishing any drawing, if it's super complex. It's way more fun to nail a simple drawing than butcher a complex one. So build confidence with easier targets, then gradually increase difficulty as you go. Like if I were to recommend which artist to study between 2 that I recently studied myself in recent videos here on the channel, I would recommend studying the style of Liu rather than the style of Gui's. They're both very talented artists. But if you're short on time, Liu's style is a lot faster to achieve. It's a lot simpler. To be fair, it's probably still too much if your time is limited, but hopefully you get my point. Use simpler references because they'll take you less time to copy. For practice only, of course. Copying is bad otherwise. Watch yourself. And then the last strategy number 7 is to weaponize your dead time. You have way more free time than you think. People spend on average like 3 to 4 hours daily on their phones. So you take just 25% of that and you've found an hour. Magic. And then you add time spent waiting, in transit, in lines, during commercial breaks if you have like the peasant versions of subscriptions like Netflix with ads. It all adds up. It's to your advantage. Those ads are perfect time to whip out that pocket sketchbook we talked about earlier. You'll be shocked at how quickly it fills up when you make use of all that dead time during the day. So if you follow these 7 strategies for just a few weeks, and they're very easy to implement, you'll see more progress than artists who draw for hours without direction. The secret isn't having more time, although for sure that helps, but it's using the time you have intelligently. So like most people, I'd say you're not too busy to improve. You just needed the right system. And so I hope this helps. All this stuff has worked wonders for me personally. And if you're looking for more god-tier exercises to practice when you have just a couple of minutes, perfect exercises for artists of every level, I have a full class going over the ones I consider the absolute best, and you should check it out. I'll have the link to that class on the screen here in just a second. I'll see you over there.